A few years ago, a client of mine called me and asked me if I'd mind having lunch with someone he was considering promoting from the executive to the executive level. So we sat down and had lunch, and I'd done a little bit of homework before I met with the guy and found out that he was very well respected, very well liked, and had held a variety of jobs with the company for over 20 years. So I was very, very, very excited about talking with him. But as we sat at lunch, I just had this nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. And so after a bit, I said to him, "Hey, you have a problem or an issue?" Me being my blunt self. And he looked at me and he said, "John, I don't know that I'm the right person for this job." And I said, "Well, how come?" And he said, "Oh, you don't know all the stuff I've goofed up in the course of my career." And he said, "My big concern is I'm now going to be responsible for over 200 people. And I'm always sitting and wondering, are those folks going to say, well, I remember when he did this and I remember when he did that?" There are about 30 people sitting in the restaurant with us. I've never done this before, and I don't think I'll ever do it again. But I stood up and I took my spoon and I kind of tapped on the side of my water glass to get everybody's attention. And I said, "I got a question to ask you all, if you bear with me for about 15 seconds. Would anybody in this room who's never absolutely made a mistake in their lives please stand up?" Everybody kind of started to laugh, and we both looked around the room, and everybody was seated. I sat down, looked at him, and said, "See, you and I got good company." Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're viewing this. I'm John Jerkowitz, and welcome to our weekly motivation. I tell you that story to make a point, because it just wasn't that guy sitting on the other side of the table with me. It was me, and if I'd hazard a guess, it's probably been you at a couple times in your life. You see, the trailer I put up by Anais Nin, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as other people see us," is really true. We have a tendency to focus on all the stuff we've goofed up over the course of our lives, and we can't imagine why anybody would want to be in any type of relationship with us for any length of time. But if you watched what I talked about last week, you'll notice that those things are the things that make us who we are. Those little flaws, those little faux pas, those mistakes that hopefully we've gained some wisdom from over the course of our lives are the things that make us us. And yes, I too often find myself apologizing for being me. Well, what if we just kind of threw that down today? And what if we said, I'm going to really look at the things that make me me, and I'm going to use them to help me be happy, healthy, and successful. See, I believe that it's a dirty little secret that you can live a relatively stress-free life. And I think the way we start doing that is beginning to understand that we're not in competition with ourselves. It's a scary proposition, but maybe we pick 2 or 3 people this week and ask them how they see us. In a lot of respects, I think we'll always be surprised. Maybe the late Zig Ziglar put it best when he said, "The me I see is the me I be." Maybe our vision becomes clearer when it's not so cluttered with the negative image and picture of ourselves. So I know for my part this week, I'm going to celebrate who I am. And like the wagon master said to the passengers when the wagon got stuck going up the hill in the mud, them that's going on, come on and help push. Them that's not, get out of the way. So that's my challenge to you this week. Dig deep for the real good inside yourself and the stuff that makes you uniquely you. I'm John Jerkowitz, and I'll talk to you next Monday morning. Have a good day and a good week.